Alright, today we're going to go over like bunker missions and kind of a guide on everything that I've done. As you can see, I've gotten all the way to senior contractor. I don't think there's any more missions, even if I max out the 5. So we're just going to go over, cover everything. We're going to start off with gear, what kind of gear you should look at to do these, what I found to be my favorite gear, and then we're going to go into the different types of missions, payouts, and like at what level you get them. And then we will go on to how to do each mission effectively, or the best way I found to do them. And then we are going to move on to the glitches I ran into them, how to get around them, or the best way to deal with them, and stuff like that. So with all that said, let's get into gear. Okay, let's get into gear. First of all, I haven't found much of a difference as far as damage-wise between heavy and light armor. The only real advantage heavy armor has from just playing the game and what it feels like is just the extra ammo slots it has on it. So I usually just go full heavy armor and I match it because I like my armor to match, and it's not that expensive. But if you wanted to go cheap, you could just go a heavy chest plate and like light armor on the rest and like the helmet that you start out with. So that is definitely an option. And I use a med gun instead of a med pin because we'll get into this more in the glitches, but the med pins seem to cause more glitching issues and I have better luck with the med gun. You can grab a multi-tool with a tractor beam if you want to loot the bodies for their armor, so you don't even have to buy armor and you can come drop off armor at the station. As for weapons, the P4AR is a great weapon and you can just loot it in there and it works fantastic. It's actually one of my favorites to use in the bunker missions. The rifle I have equipped here is the SR-71. It is also pretty good. It's pretty similar to the P4AR, except it's not it's semi-automatic instead of fully automatic, which just kind of allows you to save ammo. But if you do the P4AR, you can just loot enough ammo in the missions, it doesn't even really matter. Some other good weapons that I like to use in this is the FS9 light machine gun, the Gallant Dimco, or the Gallant rifle, and the Dimco light machine gun. All those weapons will serve you well. If you want to go the cheapest, I would just do the P4AR. And I have found that using a suppressor, I tend to survive longer because I guess enemies don't hear me and don't shoot me when I don't see them as much, or something like that. But it does feel like I have better survivability when I use a suppressor. So, but you don't have to buy it; it's not really necessary. That's just kind of how I like to run the missions. That's pretty much all for gear. Of course, you could grab a backpack and have more equipment with you. That's kind of up to you and your preference and what you like to carry. I tried doing that for a while, but I found myself dying or running into glitches well before I needed any of the extra gear in my backpack. If you are doing this with the second person, that might be a consideration because you guys might be able to survive longer because you guys could heal each other and continue going. I did a couple bunker missions with friends and it was honestly a much better experience. So if you can do it with friends, I would definitely suggest doing that. Alright, in this section we're going to cover the different types of bunker missions and what they pay out and the rep you need to do them. And in the next section after this, we'll do a more in-depth guide on how the most effective way I found to do them. And for the first mission that you get at like your rep, you have 0 rep with them, you get assist in defending site for 15k. And then when you hit the rep rank 1, you get eliminate contraband stash for 55k and evict illegal occupants for 20k. And then when you hit the rep rank 2, you get evict illegal occupants again, but this one's 22.5k, and you get eliminate drug stash for 65k. And then you also get a guard facility against threat for 60k. And then at rep rank 3, you get guard facility against hostiles for 75k and an eliminate narcotic stash, and that's also 75k. And then at the rep rank 4, you get guard facility against dangerous hostiles for 90k. So in this section, we're going to talk about the different types of missions and how to do them. And a lot of these missions have a lot of the same components to it, so I'm not going to double down and go over every single individual mission. I'll just cover kind of the basic of the mission, tell you which missions I'll categorize into that same one, and tell you the differences. And I will be playing on the background some examples of what I'm doing and what I'm talking about where I think it's appropriate. So for the first mission, super easy. It's assist in defending site. It's the one that pays 15k, and you just go down there, 10 guys spawn in, you need to go kill all 10 guys. Hurston Security will help you out. Sometimes Hurston Security just wipes the floor with them and you don't have to kill anybody. Sometimes Hurston Security will just be looking at them dumbfounded and not do anything. So depends on the mission. Sometimes you don't have to do anything. Sometimes you have to do all the work. But it's a very easy, straightforward mission. The next mission we're going to cover is Evict Illegal Occupants, and it's basically the same mission for the 20k one and the 22.5k one. And in this mission, you're going to roll up to a bunker, and there's going to be 4 turrets shooting at you. Now, in the video, in the background, you can see me just blowing up the turrets with my ship. I found this to be the easiest, fastest way, but you could also land your if you don't feel comfortable doing that for whatever reason, like you got a ship that doesn't handle that very well or something along those lines, you could land behind a hill or something or far enough away so they can't shoot you and walk in on foot, or if you have a ground vehicle, you can ride that in. I personally find destroying the turrets the fastest just because spawning in ground vehicles, or walking there, takes forever, and spawning in ground vehicles is kind of a pain in the current Star Citizen, so I find just destroying the turrets the quickest and fastest option. And then after you destroy the turrets or get inside of the bunker, there's just going to be, you'll get a number of amount of people to kill. It'll be 10. You just have to take out all 10 people. There will be no person in security to help you out. The next mission is Eliminate Contraband Stash, and this is also the same as Eliminate Drug Stash and Eliminate Narcotic Stash. The only difference I could really tell between these is it seems like the amount of narcotics you have to destroy is the same, but the enemies are harder in each progressive mission, so the ones that pay more will have harder enemies. And this will also have the turrets that you either have to destroy or walk in on foot, so keep that in mind. And this is, in the current patch, this is the mission I found to be the glitchiest, so I would kind of suggest staying away from these, but I'll get more into that and when we talk about the glitches and how to deal with them. So first of all, before you start shooting or anybody in there, you have to wait for the narcotics count to pop up or the mission will glitch out. But anyway, the narcotics count pops up, you go in there, there will be a bunch of people. Editor me coming in to clarify this point. When I said you have to wait for the narcotics to pop up, that's that notification in the top of the screen that says 622 of 637 drugs. If that is not showing and you hit any of the drugs, it will mess your mission up. So you have to wait for that to pop on screen before you go out and start doing the mission. In there, and then progressively more, the more the mission pays out. So you have to wipe out everybody that's in there, and then you have to destroy all the narcotics, and there'll be like 600 and something typically. The best way I found to destroy narcotics is with a grenade launcher. So if you do want to do these missions, I would highly suggest having a backpack with extra grenade launcher ammo and bringing a grenade launcher with you. Otherwise, you're going to use up all your ammo trying to shoot these boxes, or you're going to be stuck in there forever trying to melee all the boxes. Anyway, the next type of mission, and the final type of mission, is Guard Facility Against Threat. This is also the same as Guard Facility Against Hostiles and Guard Facility Against Dangerous Hostiles. The only difference is there's more people progressively each mission. The first one starts off with, there'll be 3 waves of 6 each. The second one has 3 waves. The first 2 have 6. The second 2 have, or the last one has 8. And then the Guard Facility Against Dangerous Hostiles will have 4 waves. The first one's 6, the next 2 are 8, and the last one's 10. On that, and basically you just go into the bunker, a timer will tick down until a wave comes, and then the hostiles will spawn, and you got to take them all out. And that's essentially the same for every single one of these missions. So the 90k one sounds cool, but with that extra wave and having to wait the extra minute and then having to take out 10 guys, it honestly is way slower, and most of those guys are wearing heavy armor as well, so it takes more shots to take them down, so you use a lot more ammo. It takes a while. So out of all these, my favorite mission is probably Guard Facility Against Hostiles for 75k, because that's kind of the sweet spot between pay and difficulty, I think. Any of these missions are going to be way better if you have a friend do it with you, because then they can just pick you up. If you want to, like if you get downed and you want some rando to medical to you, you cannot share the mission with them while you're downed, so they would have to go in there and get a crime stat to kill person security. And there's just a lot of players that aren't willing to do that in the current game. So if you have a friend to do this with, I think that's the best way to do these missions. I don't really think it's worth it doing them alone, but that's just me. But now we're going to jump into the glitches and the get-arounds and kind of all the problems that really make these missions not worth doing them right now, in my opinion. Alright, for the first glitch, it's a double elevator glitch. Basically, come in here, you hit down on that, sometimes that screen will be weird, and as you can see, there's two elevators. One goes down, one stays there, you're stuck up top. Now, there has been one time, that I clicked it and I went through the second elevator and was able to get down and out of the bunker. That is not the norm though, typically. It's just going to be like that. I haven't figured out really a way around it. I tried to Google and it seems like you're just kind of stuck in this situation. If anybody knows a way around it, let me know down in the comments, but it doesn't matter how many times you call it up or down, it's just two elevators and you can't get down to the bunker to do the mission. This is an interesting glitch where I think what's happening is the server thinks you're dead, but your client thinks you're alive. So anything like you do, like I reloaded there on my client side, but the server's like, you can't do that because you're dead, which basically makes it so that you won't reload. The server will not register you're reloading. Now there's a way to get around this, but if this happens to you, chances are you might be falling down every little bit and have to get up. You can complete the mission in this state, but you're either going to have to backspace or log out and log back in. If you log out, log back in, sometimes you will have your gear, so that seems to be the best option, but I would not count on having your gear. There is a way to reload. I'll pull it up in this footage. You basically go into your inventory screen, unequip everything to like your armor inventory, and then you can pull out the empty magazine, put it into your inventory, and take a full magazine and put it into the gun. And for some reason that gets around it, and you can reload that way. If you have a buddy with you, he should be able to find your body and heal you, which will spawn you back wherever the server thinks you are dead. I don't have any footage of that though, but that is an option. If you are with a friend, you can spawn back with the med gun. This glitch is also why I like to use the med guns instead of the med pins, because a med pin, it seems like right after you use it, if you get hit again, you automatically get sent to this glitch. But with the med gun, it seems like you can get hit a few times without getting sent to this glitch. So I've had a lot better luck avoiding this by using the med gun. It still does happen quite a bit, but not nearly as much as when I was using med pins. And to use the med gun, you just hit, my settings are still default for it. It's 4, and then you press B to point it at yourself and you can heal up. I found the best way to do this is not just one big burst with it, but if you have the time, just little hits, and it seems like it registers better on the server. I don't know. That might just be me thinking things, but it's definitely better than the med pins. This next glitch I'm going to talk about is if somebody gets a mission to the same bunker that you have, it's going to glitch out. Like in this mission, I had the Destroy Narcotics mission, and you can see it spawned 24 of 24, which is extremely low, and it's because this other guy had a mission to pick up something and take it to somebody else. So because of that, no, I can destroy all the narcotics in here, and that will never go down. None of my enemies spawned, none of his enemies spawned, and I could not complete this mission. Just be aware of that. If a bunker seems glitched out or something, it could possibly be that somebody has taken a mission to that same bunker. And another thing that can happen when they do this, like this is what happens with the narcotic drug missions to destroy them. Sometimes it will just fail the mission for you if somebody else takes a mission to that bunker, or if they issue another mission to that bunker while you're in the middle of the mission. Typically this only really happens if you die and come back. And if you do die and come back, in my experience for these narcotic missions, all the enemies will be gone, and you will still be able to destroy all the narcotics and complete the mission. But in any of the other missions, if you die and have to come back, it's very weird. Like the first or second guy you shoot in that mission, he'll just complete the mission for you. A lot of times on the missions with the waves in them, the wave counter will be all messed up. It'll all of a sudden say like 10 of 13 guys or 13 of 10 guys. Something very weird. You go in there, shoot one guy, it fails the mission. So typically if you die and come back, the mission's not worth doing at that point just because it's going to fail, unless it is in one of these narcotic missions. then you'll just be able to go back and there won't be any enemies and you'll be able to complete it. Talking about these narcotic missions, they have been some of the most inconsistent missions for me to be able to complete because a lot of times I go in there, the drugs just will not spawn in the mission. Sometimes I can go back up the elevator and go back down and they will spawn. So if that happens to you, be sure to try that first. But a lot of times with these missions, they just fail to work and they're not very reliable to do. So for that reason, if you are doing bunker missions, there are several things that you just have to deal with these narcotic missions that you don't have to deal with in the other missions. So I would highly recommend just avoiding these, and later on, once you hit tier 3, you get missions that pay similar with the other types of missions. Another scenario that you might find yourself in a lot of these bunker missions, there are guards that are supposed to be helping you, and you might find yourself in a situation where you accidentally shoot one. And I don't know what it is with these guards, but it seems like every time I shoot a guard, they start bleeding. One shot, no matter where it hits, starts bleeding. And this was worse last patch because you would automatically fail the mission if you hit a guard. Now you don't fail the mission, but they slowly bleed out, and you cannot use your med gun on them to heal them. And so they're going to bleed out, and you're going to get a crime stat. However, you will be able to finish the mission, and you cannot use a med gun on them. So you can't heal them, you can't fix them from your mistake, you can't do anything like that. They're just going to bleed out, you're going to get a crime stat. However, if you're like me and you're like, oh, well, that's annoying, but I'm around the Hurston area, I'll just jump into Hurston security real quick and clear my crime stat. I'll have some of the hacking chips on me. Well, in this patch, it seems like it could be fixed now. I haven't tried it since the new patch dropped, but at least this last patch in 16, every single time I cleared my crime stat, I wouldn't get any of my missions back. And as you can see here, I've got the crime stat because that guy bled out, but I still can complete this mission. But as I was saying before, when you clear your crime stat, you don't get any of the good missions back. You can't do bunker missions, the only thing that changes is you don't have a crime stat, but all you can do is the bad missions, pretty much, or like the criminal missions and stuff like that. So it's extremely frustrating. Now, you can't just be shooting these guys willy-nilly and still complete the mission. If you do unload like a full magazine, I'm not sure exactly what the limit is, but if you just sit there and keep on clicking the trigger or holding it down if you have a machine gun until they die, you will fail the mission. But if you just hit them once, you're not going to fail the mission. They're probably going to bleed out. You're going to get a crime stat. And in order to get back into doing bunker missions, the only way I've found to get these missions back is to go to jail. So that's frustrating. I hope it's fixed in this next patch. Like I said, I haven't tested it in 16.1, so it could be. I wouldn't hold my breath on that, though. And that's been my guide for the bunker missions. If I've missed anything, let me know in the comments. If you got any more tips or tricks on how to do these, or if you got ways around some of these glitches that I hadn't found out, please share in the comments below so more people can know about it. And anyway, I hope you all learned something, and thank you all for watching.